And above the grapevines we have the new, what I call the washing line bed, as the previous owners had their washing line up here. So I have thrown copious amounts of seeds about and autumn sown, and they seem to be coming up nicely. Also in the little pots are the recent purchase of lavenders, a mix of Grosso and English, and I've just potted them up into these little pots and we'll see how it goes. But the autumn sown seedlings are coming along, and so far, fingers crossed, nothing has decided to, well, I was going to say not to eat them, but something did at one stage, but only took little bits. Obviously something small, and got under the horizontal netting. But anyway, and I did put sweet peas along the back. I'm not sure, I think I see a couple that might have survived, but I've never had much luck with sweet peas. Oh yes, there's a few more over there. So maybe this time I will have some. But you see here in these pots, I'm assuming these were my Dutch Irish, and something has come along and eaten the tips of them. But, and I've put some lavenders in the front. And this is the drip system for the grapevines, which I just manually use it manually when I need to, and the water comes from the tanks. These are daffodils are going over now. But that's the washing line bed. And I've got some backups in the greenhouse. I've overplanted poppies, but we'll see how we go. I'm sure I'll be able to shove some of them in somewhere. But then again, we don't know what will survive and what won't up here. You can come up one day and you think you've got everything and they're cleaned out. Something comes through, the wallabies, the critters, come through and decide to have a snack. This is the second large raised bed, which is crammed full with lavender. And there is, these are definitely the elephant garlic, which I'm growing as a perennial. And in there, somewhere, is Jude the Obscure, which I rescued and popped in here. And there's all sorts of things in here from last year which have self-seeded. I think a lot of it will be Nigella. And there's some snapdragons, but round the edges is mainly lavender, which I popped in because I thought that might protect the bed from the wallabies. That's the one thing they don't eat so far, is the lavender, and that's I'm thankful for that, as that's one of my favourites. This one is just outside the pollinator patch. Now, you see here, I was protecting my pots, but a wallaby has been here. I caught him the other day, obviously back again. These are 3 crepe myrtles, which you can't really see in this light, and a ginkgo, and there's the ginkgo in here, and some cream California poppies. But I'm here above the pollinator patch, and this is the bed. It was full of Alstroemeria, which I was hoping to have for, oh, the sun's hopeless, Where am I? Move along here and look backwards maybe. It was full of Alstroemeria right up to the netting, which was a bit lower than this one, but I took the netting off because I thought that's it, they won't be eaten, and they were totally demolished, the Alstroemeria that is. So I had to put back the netting, but then a few days later, you wouldn't believe it, I came up to the grapevines and I must have startled a wallaby, and the wallaby ran right through this bed, taking out the netting, the horizontal flower netting, ran right through it and wrecked the whole place. So I'm not sure if, well, I think now things will be growing back, but oh dear, it's a challenge. And as you see, this is the pollinator patch from this angle, and then I turn around, I don't know what the some, but these are the grapevines, which actually some are already starting to bud up. But it will be a fight against the wallabies. Just the bottom of the grapevines, and what I've done, you may not see them, I have planted a lavender at each side of the roses. I was hoping that that might deter the wallabies from eating the roses, but of course it's going to take quite some time before they're of any benefit. But I have, you can just see here the baby lavenders. So there's 2 on each post. Whoops. The first 4 are lavender grosso, and then I've got 3 posts of English, and then the last 5 are grosso again. And into the greenhouse, which has got a little less than it had the previous visit. But these are all my masses of poppies. These are the peony poppies, mauve, and these are the Flemish red. And up here I've sown some pom-pom dahlias. This first batch is coming through, and I sowed a few a week or so later. These are little apple blossom snapdragons, some verbena bonariensis cuttings. I've put some sunflowers, which I'm not sure if they're doing so well in here, and a few zinnias, but I have had some slug attack in here. These are billy buttons, some bronze fennel, some tithonia, Mexican sunflowers. I've put in some, I don't know how this will go, but Gladiolus communis Byzantium from seed, but you see a couple have come up, well 3. That's another one of my favourites, so I thought I'll pop some seeds in and see what happens. And in fact there's another little one there. No sign of the furry fishing rods, and the yarrow hasn't done so well from seed. But I guess it's hit and miss. Some scabiosa cuttings, and some, oh, how do I pronounce this? Whoops. Asclepia. Hairy balls, that's the, for the butterflies. They have, they call it a swan plant as well because the seed heads come out and it looks like, they look like swans. Some Tithonia not looking too good at all. And down here I've got some perennial foxgloves, the russet colour, some sedum autumn joy, a couple of cuttings, and no sign of echinops in here. I suppose with seed you win some, you lose some. These are the final 5 bunny tails that I'm keeping us back up. And these are a few, again, we've had slug attacks. This is the Rudbeckia maximum, but I've already planted some of those down in the driveway bed, and these are supposed to be the... And here's one of our swamp wallabies, who I've just startled coming round here by the pond. He or she will be going up to the feeding station. Because I've got the sun glare, but I'm assuming you can see it. And a little bit of sun is getting through to the solar pump. I think I'm getting too much sun glare here. Anyway. And anyway, this is coming back to the fern walk, which the ferns are coming back. And I'm just swing round here, and all this up here is our land for wildlife. Back, and I have a cup and saucer vine in a pot up here, which hopefully will grow up over the arch. But the ferns were in a rather sad way, but they're all coming back. At least some are. A little path of insects, but if I just swing around here you can see this large tree fern, which is doing really well now. Of course we've had a lot of rain, so they will like that. This is a lime tree in here. Anyway, This is the, now, here we've got, if you see them, oh, they've gone. There was 2 wallabies there. This is the feeding station.